Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever applies to you. So today I'm just very, very excited because I have two beautiful Filipinas with me tonight. The first is Binibining Pilipinas 2002. She's a certified professional coach, certified image consultant, pageant coach for Binibining Pilipinas charities, segment host of Miss Manners in UNTV, founder of Global Image Management Incorporated. Help me welcome Miss Karen Lauren Agustin Ostrea.
Hi,
Hello,
good evening.
Karen. All right. Hi, Karen. So our next guest, she's a dear friend, a fellow sacred space holder. She speaks French, Spanish, Nihongo. Sabi niya basics lang daw. Let's see later. Mandarin, English, and Tagalog as well. She's a motivational speaker, personality development coach, a well-being boost program facilitator, the country head of Kumu, Australia, and founder and chairman of Mafae Management Consultancy. Let's all welcome Mafae Yunon-Belasco. Hi, sis, and welcome. And thank
Hi,
you for
ladies.
saying
Hi,
yes.
Paul.
Hello.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having us.
Yes, and for the people, I think people are watching now at the moment. If you have any questions, feel free to type those questions there so we can ask Matthew and Karen. So, hello, lovely ladies. I'm just looking at you, and I don't know what to say. Probably starstruck or probably overwhelmed. But I'm just so happy that the two of you said yes. So thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Karen. So, for people that probably know a bit of you, probably you want to give them a refresher of who Mafe was, who Karen was, and who you are now. Probably start with Mafe and then Karen.
Okay. So, Polly, thank you again for inviting us. Alam mo naman, Karen and I love to empower and inspire others all the time. But to answer your question, so before my journey to the Philippines, I started here. I was born in the Philippines, left the Philippines when I was 6 years old, and moved to Sydney, Australia, where my parents, left their home, and I guess they wanted to see what was in place in Australia for us, or the faith, because my uncle was already there. So they decided to bring the family and I guess have a different life or a better life, or an opportunity for us to grow in a place that can provide sustainability, or for my brother and I to have education that is what my cousin was experiencing. So when we got there, I did see hardships with my parents, and I was very inspired on how they pushed through. So, alam mo naman, you're not in the Philippines, so it's a grind. It's a hustle. It's
That's
you have to really work hard to have a good life. And so when I experienced and witnessed that, that led me to having a strong core and personality, and just wanted to fulfill certain goals and dreams. And I feel as though that's the reason why I always knew what I wanted to do in life. And mind you, never was it being in a pageant. I was actually a tomboy growing up too. I loved sports. I played any sport, you name it, but I fell in love with tennis. And that's where I found, the true meaning of life. The lessons that I experienced just being a tennis player, being independent, taking care of your well-being, your fitness, your health. And when you're on the court, I mean, people out there who are athletes, when you're on a tennis court, when you're playing singles, you're on your own. So it's really up to you whether you will go after that ball, which can resemblance as an opportunity in life, or you sit back and be lazy and wait for someone to, I guess, hand things to you, which is something that is not really fulfilling, right? So leading
there
up
goes the
to,
wisdom of Mafe in that
yeah.
sport in the sport. No, so Math, like it's a very interesting. I want to understand later on, like your journey towards the world of pageantry, because
Right.
I've read your profile, and you were really the tomboy type. You had that face in your life where you're just like, rowdy and want to be with the boys and just want to be rough out there with sports. Okay. How about Karen? What was your journey before and how you transitioned to now being you? Karen is a mom of three.
Wow, that's a long journey, by the way.
It is.
It is. I just realized like a few days ago that it's already 2021. So it's been 19 years since I won Miss Philippines Universe. That's crazy to think about. That's literally half of my life ago because I'm now 38. I won when I was 19, so I was pretty young. I was kind of finding my stepping in life at that time, and
Mhm.
and then I won. Like I won on the first try. I won while I was in college, and I didn't expect that. I wanted to be a lawyer, and somehow teaching fell into my lap. I got offered to teach in a personality development school. That's how actually I started.
Okay.
And after the first class, which was a 2-hour class, I just fell completely in love with teaching. I fell in love with being able to contribute to the change of the life of my participants.
Mhm.
And at some point, you can even say I got addicted when they started saying, "Oh, thank you so much, Miss Karen. Ever since our class, I learned to be more poised," or "Thank you so much, Miss Karen. I'm now more confident about myself." So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I did that!" And when you're 19, that's a big deal for someone to say that to you. 19, 20 years old. That was a really big deal for me that I made a mark on someone's life and I wanted to make a mark on more people, but not really in a vain way, but more on a positive way because I had my own transformation. I had my own transition.
Mhm.
I had a crazy college life where I had a lot of stumbling situations in my college life, and I think Mafae knows a little bit of that. Before
I'm
I joined,
sure.
yeah, before I joined Binibining Pilipinas, and I even treat Binibining Pilipinas as my turning point. It was my saving grace, even, and I
Mhm.
realized, wow, after being so crazy for my entire college life, God gave me a prize. And I
True.
didn't feel that I deserved it, but He
Mhm.
gave it to me anyway.
Yeah.
Why and what for? And so I decided just to be good at some point. So when I started teaching and I realized that I had such a hard time getting up from falling in the past, you know, years of my life, in my older teenage years. Um, but here I am, given the opportunity to help someone else feel hopeful about
Mhm.
themselves.
Mhm.
So I took it, and that's how I ended up being an image consultant now. I'm a personality development trainer now. I'm a
Ooh.
motivational speaker now, and I kind of apply the same thing to my children as well. So that's my journey.
So I would suppose like the kids are very poised. Is do they apply it physically just how they do it? I don't know, like because I always have this image that when you have a mom is perfect, nearly perfect,
No,
tattoo.
Far, far from
Probably the kids might probably want to be inspired by it at some point. If that's even a valid observation.
Mape should answer first. She had kids before me, so
Go
go
ahead,
Mape.
Math. What's your
well,
observation, Math, between your stature, the things you've accomplished, and how the kids around you behave around you to be
right.
able to probably not meet the standards, but probably more on I just want my mom to feel proud about myself too, that
Right.
mom, I'm here.
hmm Well, Nick and I think I can speak to, in behalf of Nick, is that we're very vocal. We communicate with our children all the time about everything. And
Mm.
they'll be the ones to tell you, like, sometimes it's too much information, TMI. And for me,
Mhm.
I am all about being honest. I'd rather them speak to me or ask me a question so that I can give them the honest truth. Alam mo naman, during this time and this generation, it's so easy to Google something. It's so easy to ask a stranger online. So for me, my vision or mission as a parent is that I am your biggest supporter. I am your biggest, influencer. If you have a question, ask me, or I'll even share the information even before you ask me. And at the same time, regardless of the achievements I have made on my own, and even with Nick, we're very open about allowing our children to be who they are. And mind you, I know my kids will tell us. I mean, now I'm very close to my children. They would tell us. It's like not nice to hear when, oh, you're the son of a basketball player. Oh, you're a daughter of a beauty queen. So you should be following their footsteps. Which is, naman is not the norm. That's why there's a lot of families in the light that had children, especially like, Hollywood, or even the pro athletes that are in the international light. A lot of the children are different. They do not follow the footsteps of their parents, but it's just too much. And I have friends, even in Australia, that will share that same story, that their kids got bullied because they were not going to be as good as your dad, or you're not going to be as, what your mom did. And that's something that I'm very honest about with my children. I always praise them. I support in whatever they do. And as you can see, they're all creatives. And for me, this is why I built my company too, is for them. For giving creatives a chance. And as Filipinos, our background is, of course, we want our children to have a future or a career that will, provide, the financial support. So to me, I found a way to make my children happy at the same time, bring them support in the future. So I know there's a lot of parents out there this might be like a sensitive issue. I am all for the medical field. I'm all for the legal careers. Like Karen actually also did want to become a lawyer too. It's still in my bucket list. But then I'm learning in other ways to have that legal background. But at the end of the day is the honest conversation, communication. I mean, I have, apart from date nights with my husband, I have dates with my children individually. And that's really key. And,
and that's how you manage them, right? That's how you manage them. You shared that before. Like you go out with them one by one.
Yeah. You intentionally have to do that so that they feel important. And I feel important as a mom because I am giving them that chance for them to speak to me. Tell me what they're feeling. How's your mind, body, and soul? And that's why we met at Sacred Space. And to be honest, the reason why I elevate my life coaching skills is for my kids, for my husband, for my family. I want them to be okay so that they can feel the way I felt. Life is unlimited. So go for it. Right?
Yeah, that's very beautiful, Maf. And I think I felt that there is a delicate dance when your parents, delicate dance of presence when your parents are this, popular in public. Just like for Karen, how does that look like at home? Because I know you wear multiple hats, but at home you're a mom. How does that delicate dance go with your kids when they see you like, Mom, I see your pictures here and you're live, I can see your videos here, I can see your videos here, and then I have my mom beside me. It's like, what is her role now? How do you make sense out of those shifting roles?
Oh wow, the word delicate is just perfect because sometimes 1 minute you're just super mom, next minute you're cooking up dinner, and then next minute you're on a live stream show, right? Just like tonight. Just like tonight. Came from prayer time and then we proceeded to here, and it's like, okay. I think it's just a lot of making sure that you keep them grounded about who they are and about their goodness, and make sure that they're always kind no matter where they are, whether they accompany mommy in a taping before the pandemic, or they come with mommy to to PICC and watch me while I train like 5,000 participants as a trainer or as a speaker, and then come with mommy to the grocery. So wherever they are, we just make sure that they're kind. We just make sure that they understand the world, and they're honestly, we're not very sheltering parents in a way that we protect them too much from the outside world. We're actually the opposite. I don't know if Mafae remembers this. I don't think we've met yet back then, Polly, but I posted something about donating a lot of stuff after the Ulysses flooding. We were affected by the flood. This ground floor was, well, it was just submerged like lower, but other houses were submerged fully. So I knew how I felt having my house submerged in the Ulysses flood, but what more of the people in the other side of the river? Because I live in the side of the river that's more, people have like, good houses, and then on the other side of the river, it's the majority of the, the masa Filipino, and so a lot of them they lost a lot of things. They lost everything, and I'm like, I'm thankful that my floor got dirty and nothing else. That's it. So immediately the following day, I made my kids make 150 sandwiches so we can deliver it. I don't know, Mark, if you remember that. And that's something that we always do. It's not the only time we did it. It's not only during Typhoon Ulysses, but we've been doing that since they were babies. We've been taking them to orphanages. We've been taking them to sick children in PGH. We've taken them to different orphanages, private and public orphanages, just to show them that, your purpose in the world is to love your neighbor, just like what Jesus asked us to do. Your purpose in the world is to help other people. Your purpose in the world is not to be rich. Your purpose in the world is to make sure people, are able to live with dignity. So I think that's what we do, despite I don't even think I'm in the level of famous anymore, but despite the titles and all that, we just make sure that they understand.
What I liked about what you said a while ago, Karen, was the word, and this is probably Mafae's favorite word too for the past 6 months, Mafae, grounded. So imagine being grounded.
I learned it from Mafae.
There you go. See, it circles back. So I think I'll ask Mafae first, like being grounded, how I want to understand, how do you go back to grounding yourself after having such publicized title where everybody knows you representing the Philippines, and the culture, the celebrity culture in the Philippines is really different, probably compared to Australia, probably here in Europe. How do you ground yourself back? Did you have that moment when you said, "Let me just ground myself"? Like, oops, I'm just very much out there. I just want to go back.
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Always. And I have to go back to thanking my parents again, instilling such a strong faith in me. I always go back to thanking God, thanking Him for the experience, thanking Him for allowing me to meet people like you. Both of you have changed my life for the better, for allowing me to meet my husband and my 2 older boys, for allowing me to really feel true love after my own parents and my brothers. And every second, I'm just thanking Him. And I pass that on to my children, that no matter what you have, no matter what you do, no matter what, the amazing people that is introduced to you, that's God. And that's how I stay grounded. I always have Him in my life. I always thank Him. And just to give you a trivia, I was giving you a lot of trivia. When I was even on the Miss World stage, I had my scapula under my bracelet. So I always have a piece of Him to remind me. I don't think you can see it, but it's on my right hand. I had like this diamond. Well, it wasn't real, but it was just like, one. So I had my scapula wrapped around there. If I could have held my rosary somehow during that time, I would have also. But that's one thing that I always pass on, and most especially my children, when you're feeling down or you're feeling like the world is overwhelming, you have to just really step back and breathe breathe and just speak to God. And that was what was taught to me. I think just the past 5, 6 years, I had a spiritual advisor telling me, God is like your friend. You can vent to him, you can find him, just know he's there. He's got your back.
Yeah.
And I honestly, truly believe that he speaks to us through others, through signs. And that's why I value friendships and relationships that guide me to being a better woman, a better mom. Every time I laugh with Karen, I just know, okay, this is God, like, allowing me to have a sister that, that I have, we just know. We don't even have to say it, but we all just laugh. And just having this moment where Karen was my biggest mentor before going to this world, and now I'm kind of like her mentor as a parent. It's just like, it comes full circle, and I love it.
Supporting each other.
Yeah, I mean, going back to your question, it's my faith.
Right. So it's really faith that grounded you. How about Karen? Well, you can do your heart. Well, you can do your There is a perfect heart now. Wonderful.
Tita Heart yan, Tita Heart. Ito na daw ang young heart.
Oh, okay. This is like the K heart. Was it the same with you? Have you had that moment to Carlin when you felt that, I just want to go back to, I just want to ground myself and know myself more internally because my life had been very exposed for the past years and I just want to go back there. Have you had that moment?
Oh, well, definitely my self-awareness increased so much since I was 19. Part of being a trainer really is increasing your self-awareness. You cannot train anyone on anything, whether being a beauty queen, being a public speaker, being whatever career they want to have, unless you have a high level of self-awareness. So and you can't teach them to do this and that unless you know how to do this and that, right? So I really feel that, there you go. I really feel that I really understand, what people can possibly be going through, even if that's not my job. Like I have that photo that you just showed. They are restaurant managers, and how could I possibly know the life of a restaurant manager unless I have the ability to put myself in their position? And throughout my life as a coach, I'm able to somehow empathize in a way that I can realistically put myself in their position. Of course, at some point, I have to immerse myself in their industry. So that's generally one of the things that I do in my job. Like before I even do the training, I immerse myself first in the company's industry, in the company's day-to-day business and activities, and that's how I'm able to, help them in their self-development and their professional development.
So it really goes back to, I don't know, being able to be authentic by being in their really understanding what they go through today.
Trust me, I am so far from being a beauty queen or poised or whatever when I do my training. Actually, I've been told by so many participants, by so many clients, that I am very authentic and that I'm very real. And they can't believe that a beauty queen can understand it. And that's modesty aside, like, thank you so much. But that's something that I really aim to do every time for all of my clients. And I feel that's where, at some point my success comes from. The fact that I really make that ultimate effort to just understand what they're going through and be them, be like them at the the best way I possibly can be.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And talking about authenticity, Math, how does this, because now we have a lot of face tuning apps, we have Instagram, Facebook, pretty much you can edit everything. Ito naman walang face tune, I hope. The cameras are okay, walang face tune. But how do you guide? Because the two of you are coaches, right? Two of you are like consultants. Of course, they reach out to you for personality development. How do you make sure that kids understand or the youth understand, or even us, our age, we're using the technology still. How can you relay that message or even package that message that there's an authentic self and that your life is not just in social media? How do you
Yeah.
bridge that gap when someone asks you that question, Math?
Well, of course, now having children, it was challenging. As being crowned as Miss Philippines and being in the beauty pageant world, there's always going to be comments. Oh,
Mm.
lumaba ka. Oh, you already gained weight and this and that. So of course, as human and as a woman, it's not nice to hear when you haven't seen a person for so long and it's your weight or your look is the first thing they're going to comment in. So I really advocate really taking care of the other person, really asking how are you, and you mean it. And when I share this with the youth, I always tell them, if you're happy with yourself, then everybody should just be happy for you. And if they're not, then you say thank you for that. You reminded me that I'm also human. I appreciate that, and you move on. Regardless of what social media and maybe the people that you admire who are celebrity influencers, what they're doing is what they're doing. Yes, it can be an inspiration, but then again, don't compare yourself because we're all different.
Mm.
Remember, you are the biggest critic for yourself.
Mm.
Others, you may start thinking it, but no one has said it yet. So always be
Yes.
mindful on how you criticize yourself. Lift yourself up every day. Because when you wake up in the morning, you have a chance to be better. So it's up to you to make that choice. It's up to you to say, I'm too busy to work out. I cannot afford healthy food. Hello, you don't need 100 pesos to eat healthy every day.
True.
How much is one banana? How much is broccoli, or even what's the okra? Boil that. That's what I eat.
Egg,
And even though
talong.
I could be a busy woman, I find time for my self-care.
Mm.
There's 5 minute workouts. There's
Mm.
5 minute meditation, guidance. You cannot ever say that there's no time.
Mm.
You have to change your mindset and say, I make time for myself.
So this is really something that I think something I learned about, like in the 30 minutes that we're talking here, is that regardless if you're a title holder, you know the life up there. Because when I say up there, it's really being exposed too much.
Yeah.
You really have to know yourself still. And I think everybody is going through that now because of the seclusion. Everybody's confined in their respective places. Your biggest monster is actually the thing inside that you have to confront every day. And it's easier to just dismiss it by exposing yourself outside and having a performance outside rather than dealing with what's in here. So,
Right.
Karen, as an image consultant, I know that you've interacted with a lot of women, a lot of probably teenagers even. What trend are you seeing? And when I say trend, like what's the most common challenges that kids nowadays are facing?
Oh my God. A question? Pang Mafae yung question. Mas marami siya pang math.
Alam ko yan, it's mental health, di ba?
Kasi-
But
ang bibiling Pilipinas daw eh.
no. But what I feel that because of social media and there's so much information out there, I think a lot of the people, not just the kids, a lot of the people right now has a higher level of self pressure. Is that a term?
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Yeah, right. Like I need to have that. I need to look like this. I need to be that. Honestly, it was already there in 2002 when I joined, but
Okay.
not the level that it is right now. I don't know if Mafae agrees with me. I don't know if Mafae you felt the difference, but the girls that I've trained for Binibining Pilipinas, even this year, even via Zoom, they really talk about. They're kind of talking about more outrageous desires for their changes.
Yeah.
Unlike during my time, it was just a matter of I gotta make sure I answer correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's, oh no, I need to have this particular nose and wear this particular makeup and make sure my eyelashes is this particular length and then make sure I answer correctly. There's just so much more pressure that they put on themselves. And it's not just for pageant girls, but also for
Mm.
like, everybody else. There's more self pressure. So I think the challenge for me as an image consultant and as a coach is to bring them back in the reality of, you know, God has already made you perfect. There is nothing more perfect than your original version. So
Mm.
it's just allowing them to love what is already there. That is a
Mm.
challenge. It's a challenge because they are bombarded constantly with a lot of negative things online. So
Mm.
it's like I'm not sure how to say it in English. It's like ang dami kong kalaban.
Okay.
Like here I am
Yeah.
trying to teach them, trying to help them see the positive side of themselves. But here is technology bombarding them with a lot of things that they don't have. So there's just too much competition
Mm.
with their perception. So I think
Mm.
that's where I'm challenged right now. But I'm able to work around it for sure. I just need, as a consultant, I need to be extra compassionate
True. And
uh,
really keep
for
up.
each
Really
of
keep
them.
up with that shift, right? Because I think like you never had this level of probably you never saw this during your time, but you're seeing it more and more now. And how do you keep
Yeah,
up with that?
Mhm.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. 'Cause I'm just imagining how your day goes and
if I
the
can,
level
if
of
I can
keeping
also,
up with
if I can also insert this, like
them.
it's also challenging for me as a coach because I'm going through my own thing as a mom. Because I
Yes.
also am bombarded with that information of this mom is doing that. Oh no, Mafae is able to do this and this and this and this and this. Plus, she dates her child. Like, how many days does she have in a week? Does she have 27 days in a week? Ang galing. So, I have my own thing that I'm going through, and yet I have to stay professional and compassionate to my own clients. So
Mm-hmm.
I cannot be grounded. Sorry, I cannot work through all of these unless I am grounded enough. And you're right, and I have that self love and self care and all that. So yeah, it's a lot of balancing and a lot of constant work.
So kudos to that word, grounded. And I think also there's a rise of people that are more conscious now of really taking care of their well-being because probably too
Yeah,
they know that they have been constantly bombarded with things and you just don't know where to go to now except really you just want to look inward for you to get that strength and just persevere and move forward. So for Mafae, I was reviewing your profile and I realized that in 1983 you're on one. Was it
Mhm.
like third runner up for Miss Universe? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
84.
So yes, 84, 84. Okay.
I
So
was 2 years old. Yeah.
was that something that you thought would be the path that you will take to knowing the things that she went through after that, sure, her life probably went public, the roller coaster of pageantry? Was it something that you thought that, okay, probably I might want to try this too someday, but let me just be tomboyish for how many years and I'm good? I don't know if that's the same roller coaster as it is now in the pageant world.
What's funny, and this is the honest truth, I do not remember her joining when I was younger. And apparently, I was with my grandparents dropping my aunt off. We were there at the airport with her. She left for Florida.
oh
And so I
wow.
knew this when I grew up. And I had photos of me, little, holding a magazine, and she's in the front cover. I just thought that was cool, but I didn't think anything of it. Like it wasn't the path that I was dreaming of or thinking of.
Right.
And like I said, moving to Australia gave me that, that Aussie personality that I don't need to wear makeup. Like that's not me. And I don't wear dresses or heels. But how I connected or aligned with my auntie's journey was when by chance, I was chosen to represent my dad's association in the in Australia, because Australia has a Filipino fiesta every year. So all the different provinces, they will sponsor a girl to represent their province. And then, the highlight of that Filipino fiesta is the pageant. And so that year when they chose me, it was just like, my dad had no choice, because my dad's also a strict father. Like, he never would let me wear skirts above my knees. So all of a sudden, I'm going to be wearing a swimsuit on stage. He couldn't say no, because the association, they do charities. And of course, that pageant was a give back. It's a charity. So whoever wins will go to the Philippines and donate the money that was raised. And so their association, there was two titles, one Charity Queen, and the other one was Miss Philippines Australia. So my dad's association is known to always win the Charity Queen, because they raise so much money. And so that was something that was like in the bag. Like, they said, don't worry about it, you're going to win, and this and that. So I was like, yeah, cool, have fun. I'm going to get to go to the Philippines. But then when the experience happened, I had so much fun, and I just enjoyed it. And I guess as an athlete, I like to perfect things. So I perfected the performance. And then my dad, was really into the Q&A. I guess he was more nervous than me. I was just like, okay, fine, got it. He had a structure in place with me. And of course, it made him proud, because I was able to answer the question okay. And then, surprise, I won both titles. And so I got to bring my mom to the Philippines. And that's where it touched me. When I got to visit the orphanage, Home for the Angels, Hospicio de San Jose, the Home for the Elders, and then I got to meet the scholars of the association, which is Agumang Kapampangan. I'm forever grateful for you all. And that's when I said, I now want to do what Tita did, my aunt Des. If I can wear a sash and a crown and be able to make a difference and speak to people who are decision makers and collaborate and partner with them to, help the needy or my fellow Filipino, then I'm going to aim for that. Actually, Karen, I don't know if you know this, if I even told you, I already wanted to join Miriam Cambal's year.
Oh, wow.
The only reason why I didn't is because the deal with my parents was I had to finish college first, and I was still in the middle of college. So I could have done what you did, which is at 19 years old, like, no, Mafae. And even Tita said that. She said, Mafae, it's better that you graduate and then you join, then you really have that, I guess, mature thinking and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for them who encouraged me then. But I was already so excited. I want to join now. American Bow's here. Then good thing, I waited, because of course it's also when you force things, sometimes it's not the result you want. So I, obedient daughter, did what was told, and as soon as I graduated, I'm like, yeah, go for it, go for gold. And so I went, and that's how I followed the footsteps of my aunt, and she was my biggest mentor here before meeting Karen, and of course grateful to her group of friends, Sarah Jane Paez, Abigail Arenas, who else? Marina Benepayo, Marina Santos. They are like the senoras of the modeling industry. They're just giants that are just goddesses that I look up to. Forever yung beauty nila, And I always looked up to them. They're so much fun. That's like, for me, it's like Karen and Kate Manalo, who crowned me. That's who my fun ladies are. We can just laugh. We can just pick up where we left off, even though we don't see for a year, and we come together, and even though they were the batch before me, I felt like I was with their batch,
There we are.
That's when I came back from Miss World. So
look at the
I
two
was
of you.
so happy that they were
Gosh,
there.
we were so payat. Look at that.
Oh, you're still payat. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're so payat. The two of you are payat.
I just want to say, I'm so glad I didn't join 2002. Di ako nanalo niyan.
Sabihin mo si Mafae. Magsisecond ka kay Mafae. You'll be like,
Hindi, mahirap kalaban yan. Sabi ko, buti na lang. Ngayon ko lang dumating. Sabi ko, because I was the reigning queen when she joined in 2003. So, of course, us reigning queens were looking and scanning the girls. And then I see this girl, Maria Rafaela, Yunon, and I'm like, buti na lang, hindi siya 2002.
she has a Maria Rafael. She's this Maria. Once there's a Maria, that's really something. Kasi parang, parang, oops, there's a Maria there. So probably like the features will be very, very good for TV. So yun na nga. Yun na yung picture ni Mafae. For Karen, like, you had this responsibility at 19 years old. And now it made me reflect what I was doing when I was 19. And if I'll have that same and pretty much the same level of responsibility, I'm not really sure I'll be able to handle that. So what was your world like at 19 and having this level of responsibility?
I've encountered so many 19-year-old people these days and the past years. And I realized, like, I had a different perspective about life back when I was 19. And I think it had a lot to do with how I grew up. I am a daughter of an OFW, or my dad was a seaman. So I had to mature really quickly because I was the eldest. So I was standing as my mom's partner in raising my siblings. So I learned driving early because somebody had to start the car up while dad is in the ship, and he sometimes would be gone for 10 to 12 months at a time. So, as early as 14, 15 years old, I already knew how to start the car. And by the time I was 15, I was sent to driving school, so I could at least move the car out of the garage and then bring it back. And then 16, I officially got my student's license, and I got to bring the car around the car. Yeah, so I got, I can say, matured or responsible at a young age. And then I went to college, and then I went crazy. Mafae knows the history of that, which I will not expound here. But the point is, it was a learning experience. Those 3 years of craziness, they were real solid learning experiences. So by the time I was 19 and I was encouraged by my mentor, Roger Flores, to join Binibining Pilipinas, I already had years of experience of growing up and learning and growing up and learning and stumbling and standing up. And I feel that maturity or those experiences helped me in fighting during Binibining Pilipinas and competing and just aiming properly and just looking forward to just getting that title to help turn my life around again. So I had this special goal about it. It wasn't just I want glamour, fame. It was hardly that at all. It was just I just wanted, I think, redemption even. So,
Redemption?
Of myself. Wow. Because, the college life I was talking about earlier, I was crazy.
So you must be really crazy to really say, like, have that group of, like, really redeem yourself.
If you think about it, a lot of the girls that win, not all, but a lot of the girls that win, it's kind of a redemption story. From Lara Kigame, who had that, she had this long history as well, and Pia Worksback, and a bunch of people who had some kind of story, real background stories. And then they win, the grit thing, that's real.
Yes, the grit thing is real. And especially if you part it with redemption, like having the reason for the grit is to redeem yourself. Then I think it becomes more special. And I think it goes really back to the core, your insecurities, your flaws, the beauty inside you, and just use that as a filter. So I just want to step back a bit and make this a little light, because I was asked by a friend about catching up, because I know, and I'm not an expert, I know that normally someone prepares your dress before, like what to wear, the designer. But now I think there's a free hand as to what you want to wear, who you want to wear. Right. Is that right? During your time, how does that work? It's like they get your measurements and you wear what you have to wear. Someone
Yeah.
directs you what to wear.
Literally. There's no other explanation except what you said.
Walang choice. Parang, okay, I'll wear this and that's it.
So there's this moment, I think similar to Karen also, where there's choices. So there's like of course, the management of Bini Bini Pilipinas, and then of course us as the winners, we try on dresses. And they also ask us, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel okay with this dress? Do you prefer this color? So we have a say. I know that I was able to share what my favorite color was and how I felt in certain dresses, because you will see in your face if you're not comfortable. And I think I was very already outspoken enough to share my feelings. Karen during the time that she chose her dress, but I know Karen was there during my time of even packing my bags. But I know when it came down to the final gown, I had a say because I was like, I love this. You know, this is it. But there was also that we had to choose from.
Alfredo Baraza yun, di ba, Mafae?
Yes.
Okay, so I remember the process because I had the chance to live with Alfredo Baraza. And I'm not sure, Mafae, if I've ever told you this story. But Mrs. Araneta consulted me about aside from you getting interviewed about your gown. Mrs. Araneta also consulted me because I myself was with Alfredo in Colombia for weeks. And I said that, whatever Mafae is expressing, I actually remember red being a solid like color option there. And I remember also just letting Mrs. Araneta know that it cannot be like an elegant thing. It has to be not flowing. I used another edgy. There you go. I remember telling Mrs. Araneta, it has to be edgy. That's just what I said. I don't know if that was before it was designed, after, during design, whatever it was. But she asked for my opinion, and and Mafae also expressed it several times. I think to Mrs. Araneta. She's very outspoken. Among her batchmates. I was there throughout. Among her batchmates, she was the one who really expressed herself to Mrs. Araneta, and I think that's why she got like the best gown during her
Mafae. That's the reason why you have that beautiful Versace-inspired gown. Union Karen, right?
It was gorgeous. It was, diba? It's edgy. It's so Mafae. It's so Mafae. I mean, all of us who were dressed by Alfredo Baraza, including me. I mean, I love my gown. My gown is gorgeous. But I didn't have a say during that time because I didn't know I could have a say. So I was just saying, sí, señor, sí, claro, sí, señor, that's it. And they would just ask me to come down, and I'm like, muy bonita. It's like, it's gorgeous. I have no say, but Mafae. I think since her batchmates were competing, because she was the last one who left to compete for international pageants. Since her batchmates were competing, she was already expressing everything to Mrs. Araneta. I think da-da-da. I think da-da-da. So I'm like, oh, awesome. I didn't know we can do that.
So, Karen, I know the two of you are coaches, right? I just want to probably ask you to be coaches just for the last 10 minutes of the show. I have names here that I will throw out, and probably you can act as a coach to them and for whatever issue or whatever it is that you have seen, have heard of, etc. Whatever comes to mind that is tied to this name, just stand as a coach. And what do you think you'll coach them for? Are you ready? I don't want this to be controversial this slightly. I'll be very, very careful, okay? We can delete this math, right? Just in case. So,
yes.
So I will start with Mafae. Kamala Harris.
Ooh, nice.
keep smiling. What can I coach her on? She's coaching me. You know what I mean? For me, she is one of the epitome of a woman that is what I love to do, is just go for your dreams and at the same time support others by putting yourself last. You know, she has that substance of being such a power woman, you know, and just like what Karen was saying, just having that chance to have a voice now, having a platform, just elevates her voice. I cannot be a coach for her. She's my coach. You know.
Okay. All right. How about Karen? I'm thinking of the Catholic Church, Philippine Catholic Church. Again, that's why this might be very controversial, but whatever comes to mind, just go ahead and stand as a coach.
Yeah. You know, I am a member of Couples for Christ, and I am as Catholic as you can get. So, what I can say, oh my gosh, honestly, is to keep doing what they're doing. I know that the Catholic Church is kind of vocal these days, and some people think that they need to zip it, but not me. For me, just keep doing what you're doing. If you have to declare, you know, your ways, your laws, your policies as a Catholic Church, you have the right to. This is people's faith. This is people's beliefs, and nothing beyond the church should stop them from continuing to express themselves as a Catholic Church. Yeah.
Whew. Okay. It's getting serious.
You don't have to believe that.
I'm taking advantage of the coaches. Mafae, if you're a coach to someone who's pregnant, but we're talking about teenage pregnancy, how do you think you'll coach that girl?
So
I know
that's a very, you know, delicate situation, because at the end of the day, for me to tell her that this is a gift from God may not be the way that she's thinking. But then again, me being the voice of God will keep encouraging her to pray, encourage her to love the child that is given to her. And at the same time, you know, the lesson that she is experiencing could be a bigger goal for her to share the experience and how to prevent other young girls, you know, but at the same time, loving the gift that she's given, regardless of what or how, you know. I will be there to guide and strengthen her faith even more, because again, it's a tough situation. You just shared with me just like a simple topic, but then I don't even know. I'm already foreseeing what I'm going to do. You know, it's like, maybe that's the maternal instinct for me, because I've always loved children since I was young. And it's not a fun fact, because it sort of became reality that I wanted 12 children, 6 boys, 6 girls. And so God, here's 6. So thank you. I'm good, because I think I have many children from who I mentor and coach. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mafae.
Awesome answer, Mafae. I love it.
Oh, that's a tough one, Mafae, but rest assured I'm not pregnant.
You made me step back for a second. Yeah. Normally, you know me, I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
I think now, and I'm sure, you know, Karen talked about it earlier, is that at this level of being a coach or being a support to someone else, you step into their shoes.
Yep.
You know, understand what they could be feeling, and that's how you coach, because you have to, like Karen said, immerse yourself on the situation, on the team, on the people. Then that's when you can truly understand.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we're somewhat experts, but at the end of the day, we're also human. So,
True.
in foremost, you need compassion. You
True.
need to really listen before you give your opinion or give a guide.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, Math. For Karen,
Oh,
Like
meron ba?
wearing your hat. Wearing your hat is ang dami pa. Ang dami pa. Wearing your hat as an image consultant or a coach. President Rodrigo Duterte.
Oh my God.
Karen.
And I think even if I'll throw GMA, Aquino, you'll probably be drinking that wine still because I know that this is like the leader of our country. Go ahead.
I have a lot to say.
Okay.
No, actually, I have the ability to do my image coaching in a very objective manner. So
Sure.
no matter what side I am in my political whatever, I will be able to do it. But side story, this story is an unofficial situation that happened a few years ago. I was incredibly unofficially asked if
Okay.
I could do some sessions with the person that you just said. And I
Okay.
said no. And I said no because you know, I want someone who's going to follow what I'm going to say somehow, and I know that he will just resist. So moving
Mhm.
forward from that, it's okay. You don't have to edit that out. It's fine. I will. I think he's really the image that he's projecting to the people is somebody that is relatable and reachable to at least more of the masses, which is the majority of the voters. Obviously, it's not the AB community that he's trying to emanate or be relatable to. It's really the CD community that he's trying to be relatable to. So he's doing a good job with that. In the end of the day, it's all about getting the votes for you to become the president and for you to stay as president. So I will say, I mean, as a parent, I will suggest for him to refrain from the profanities because
Mhm.
there are a lot of kids that actually think that saying profanities and bad words is a normal thing. And I encountered a client literally who said PI in front of me, and I said, "Oh, we don't say PI in public at least or in a professional situation." And literally, these are his words. Eh kung ang presidente nga nag-PI eh, syempre ako okay lang.
Okay.
This is a legit coaching session with an individual is um, who wants to be somebody in a company. So I coach professionals in that sense as well. So I said, yeah, but that doesn't mean that you will exude authority. And then this individual said that, siya nga ang president eh, di ba authority yun? So it's very, like what I said, if you're competing with the information out there, it's very difficult to do your job. So if there's anything about his image, that's the one thing I will request for him to if possible, eradicate from or eliminate. At least publicly.
Eliminate the profanities. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. I think everybody has an area to improve on whatever it is that they do. Areas that they're good at. Pretty much it's a mix. Like for Mafae, myself, and you, Karen, pretty much we all have an area that we can improve on. So, so just to wrap up, ladies, do you have any shows, programs that you want the viewers to be to know of? Probably you can invite them. Probably we'll start with Mafae.
Yes, of course. Karen and I would like to invite you every Tuesdays at 3 p.m. on Kumu app on community stage, our show Tita Queens, because we love and are grateful for our journey. And so we share other women and also we welcome men, but currently we are interviewing or featuring our fellow queens. And we just discuss our experiences, our, what we're doing now. And it's just really behind the scenes type of conversations, which we love. It's the honest conversations. It's the how did you really truly feel behind backstage. So we had Bea Rose Santiago, just this our first pilot episode last Tuesday. So thank you, Bea, because she made it very memorable, and to everyone who's always supporting us there, all Karen's admirers there. We love you guys. So join us every Tuesdays at 3 p.m. And thank you, Polly, for being our guest also. I think that's
Yes.
I would like to promote, considering my beautiful co-host is with me here. So Karen, go ahead. And
Go ahead, Karen.
So yeah, like what Mafae said, please catch us on TV Queens every Tuesday, 3 p.m. It's on the community stage channel. And please follow our different social media platforms. Mafae has it on Facebook, Instagram. Her YouTube channel is called Team Velasco Vlogs. And don't forget to follow my YouTube channel as well, Karen of Ostrea. My super cute daughter has her YouTube video up on there, and she's so excited about it. And my different social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram as well. I don't really have any shows coming up soon unless Mafae cooks something up for me again.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies, for your time tonight. Karen, enjoy your wine. And Mafae, please rest. I know you've been hustling since last year, so you're my idol there. So thank you. Thank you, Mafae. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and see you again in 2 weeks.